What's up, guys? It's your boy, Pep Fernandez. The Inland Sports Show was recorded a little bit earlier tonight because, well, look behind me. We've got CBU back home taking on Utah Tech tonight live on ESPN+. I'll be on the call beginning at 7 p.m. So if you're watching the Inland Sports Show live at the end of the show, you can cross on over to ESPN and check out the end of the Trailblazers and the Lancers. CBU, a perfect 8-0 on their home floor this season, trying to stay undefeated. They've won 3 games in a row in the Western Athletic Conference, so they're trying to keep pace in the conference standings right now and trying to defend the Fowler Event Center once again. So again, the team's warming up behind me right now. We're recording this a little bit earlier tonight, so we appreciate you watching the Inland Sports Show, and it's a good one. A lot of high school basketball, a lot of high school soccer as well, and we always talk football on the Inland Sports Show. So again, enjoy the show. Make sure you give the show a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not done so already. And after the show, catch me over on ESPN as CBU is taking on Utah Tech in Western Athletic Conference play.
And what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you checking us out on a Wednesday night. We got a variety of different things coming up on this show. A lot going on here in the IE. We're going to talk some local football, high school basketball, high school soccer, a lot of good stuff. In fact, in a moment, we're going to hear from the Ramona boys soccer team. They're trying to win their first ever league championship in school history. And the River Valley League is tough. Norte Vista is always very good. Patriots having a good season. So the RVL League Championship race is tough. And tonight there's a big one. Ramona and Patriot playing tonight, but we pre-recorded an interview with the Ramona boys soccer team. We got that coming up. We're also going to talk about some of the league championship races that are coming down to the finish. I mean, we're talking about Big 8 League boys basketball, the rise of Santiago, of course, right? And then Santiago and Roosevelt and girls soccer, they will be playing tonight. That's a huge game in the Big 8 League. And let's see, Citrus Belt League boys soccer, Beaumont is having a big season. So the race is not only for the league title, but those playoff spots coming out of the CBL. We're going to hear from Cajon head coach Rafael Lara as well. But we're going to start off with some local football. And if you did not know, the national championship game between Indiana and the University of Miami, the U did have some local ties. Congrats to the Hoosiers going 16-0, your national champions. But at the University of Miami, you guys remember him? Francis Mauigoa, him and his brother Francisco Mauigoa both played for the Aquinas football team. In fact, not only did they play for Aquinas, but they helped Aquinas win a 2019 CIF Southern Section Championship. So they were key pieces. Francisco played QB. Francis played on the line. Well, Francis was a huge part of that offensive line. He is going to be a very high draft pick coming up in the NFL draft. In fact, he might be a top 5 pick. So congrats to Francis Mauigoa on a great college career, and he's going to get a big payday coming up in the NFL. So here is an interview that Francis talked about his family and the sacrifices they had to make to get him to this point, to get him to be on one of the top college football teams and be one of the top players coming up in the NFL draft. Here is former Aquinas Falcon, Francis Mauigoa.
Inland Sports.
Everything led up to this, but it all starts with my family, with my parents. I mean, they sacrificed me going at a very early age by myself to San Bernardino, California, with my brother to play football there, just by ourselves. And then they made another big sacrifice for letting me go to IMG Academy by myself. And, you know, in a Polynesian family, that's very hard, especially at the early age. But it was we all knew it was for the greater good. So I didn't want to let them down, and it all led up to this point. I mean, all the sacrifices we had from, you know, many kids often go out, and, you know, I just made the sacrifice to stay in and like do my studies and do my work. But, you know, all that sacrifice led up to this point. So I'm very, very glad that I made those sacrifices. It's what we do best. I mean, we grew up as warriors, and you know, the only thing we don't have the mindset to be like a scholar. So next thing we know how to do is destroy people, and so obviously football is the next best sport.
Thank you.
God put me on this, you know, on this platform for a reason, and that is to give glory to Him. You know, I want to use everything that I have to give glory to God, whether it's with football, whether it's in person, whatever. This sport has given me so much, and it's not from the sport, but it's from God. I mean, God gave it to the sport gave it to me. So I want to glorify Him no matter what.
Inland Sports.
Yeah, very cool to see Francis Mauigoa getting all the attention that he deserves. And again, like him and his brother made it to the NFL as well. Francisco, I think he's playing DB, but he played quarterback and DB at Aquinas High School. And of course, Francis was big on the line as a freshman, helping them win that CIF Southern Section Championship. So here's the funny thing. So Aquinas won the 2019 CIF Southern Section Championship. And in hindsight, that was right before the start of COVID, right? So COVID was like March of 2020. So when COVID happened, I actually did an interview with Francis, and I think he was only like 14 years old, maybe 15, but I think he was 14. I did an interview with him coming off that freshman season at Aquinas, but him and his brother were back home in American Samoa when COVID hit, so he had to stay there with his family in American Samoa. But he was already, as a freshman, receiving a ton of offers. I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head, but obviously Miami, I think LSU, you pick the school, all the big schools were after Francis, even after his freshman season. So during COVID, back home with his family in American Samoa, I did an interview with, I think, 14-year-old Francis talking about, the Aquinas championship, but also all of these offers coming in after his freshman season. So here's a little blast from the past. Here's just a little bit of the interview I did with Francis. And he was in American Samoa. I was here in the IE, and this was really at the very beginning of when his football career was taking off. So here's Francis Mauigoa from somewhere in the spring of 2020. If you follow Aquinas football on social media, especially like on Twitter and Instagram, you can see that you are getting a lot of college scholarship offers from some of the best college football teams in the entire country. LSU, Michigan, Oklahoma, just to name a few. So how are you taking this, with all these college scholarships coming from these big-time programs? What's it like right now?
First of all, I'm very thankful that I receive these many offers as an early age student.
So because I don't think people realize, Francis, that you just finished your freshman year. You're just going to be a sophomore at Aquinas, and you've already got all of these college scholarship offers. Does that make you feel pretty good?
Yeah.
Hey,
it does.
I wanted to ask you, Francis, because I'm not super familiar with American Samoa. Is football very popular there, and how did you first start playing?
Football is very popular over here. And I started playing at the age of 11. Yeah.
So, did you have other family members, like a father, obviously maybe Francisco? Like, who kind of introduced you to the sport of football?
My older brothers.
So they all played as well?
Yeah.
Man, we both looked a lot younger. That was spring of 2020, Francis Mauigoa. Congrats, Francis, on a great college career. Best of luck in the NFL draft. All right, let's talk, more Aquinas now, because it's our Bass Athletics Play of the Week. And Aquinas basketball star, and he's off to a great start with his new team, Brooklyn Ross, dropping a career-high 32 on not only rival Notre Dame in the Winter Holy War, but also on Arrowhead Christian.
Inland Sports.
It's a Bass Athletics Play of the Week. Brooklyn Ross, a transfer from Cajon, making his presence felt immediately with the Falcons, coming off a 32 at the Winter Holy War on the road at Notre Dame. He followed up with another 32 against rival Arrowhead Christian. In fact, he scored 32 of Aquinas' 50 points to help the Falcons hold off the Eagles 50-34 in what should be a very competitive Ambassador League championship race. That's our Bass Athletics Play of the Week. Brooklyn Ross coming up huge for Aquinas. And you can see he does everything. We're about to hear from Brooklyn, but he's got the outside game. He can go inside and play a little bully balls. He likes to say, get a little physical, crash the offensive glass. So our Bass Athletics Play of the Week, Brooklyn Ross dropping 32 in consecutive games, including that big win against ACA. So we're going to have a longer interview with Brooklyn on the next edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG. But here's some of the interview, a couple minutes of it, talking about what he's bringing to this Aquinas basketball team. And remember, the Falcons won a CIF Southern Section Championship last season. Now he's joined the team, hoping to get them back to another finals, win another title for head coach Daryl Pegram, who's doing such a great job. So let's hear from Brooklyn Ross from the Aquinas boys basketball team.
Inland Sports.
I definitely do get up. I think my teammates help me with that, but I try to keep the energy going. I really do it for the name on the front. I don't really think about who we're playing, and I just like to keep the energy good for our team.
Coach Pegram, he runs a tight ship, he runs a great program. He knows exactly what he wants from his players. What's it like playing basketball at Aquinas and for Coach Pegram?
It's so much different than any program that I've been in. He's very strict, and I like that because he's actually making me better. And I think I've become a way better player than I was last year and the year before.
Now, Brooklyn, we saw highlights of your game against Notre Dame, and we got highlights of the ACA game as well. You were doing a little bit of everything, but if you were going to kind of describe the way you play basketball, are you a guy that likes to get to the rim? Are you, you're not afraid to shoot the three-pointer? You like the offensive rebounds? Like, how would you kind of describe the way you play?
For me, I like to get to a lot of bully ball, but I don't like people to get it twisted because if you do try to leave me open, then I will shoot it. Last year, that was kind of my whole thing. I was just shooting the ball, corner three, shooting it. And this year, they kind of developed me more into a bully ball player, mid-range, pinch post type player. I think that's what I've started to become. And then now I have a secondary point of offense, which is my three-pointer. And usually at the end of the game, that's what's hidden.
Brooklyn, let me ask you about your 32-point games. You were telling me off the air that 32 points is a career high, and you've done that twice now against Notre Dame and ACA. For both those games, especially the ACA game, you scored 32 of the 50 points, for your team. When you go into a game, do you have that mindset like, hey, I'm going to probably have to score a lot in this one, or it's just what the other team's giving you and you're just feeling it, and your teammates are finding you in good spots? Like, how do you approach a game, and you go off offensively? Do you know that's going to happen that night?
Well, the funny thing is, for both of those games, I started off the game probably 0-3, 0-4. Like Notre Dame game, I started off 0-4. I missed a couple layups. And I wasn't really thinking about, I need to start scoring. It's just I do it works, and what they gave to me was the three-point line, and I just kept shooting it, and it kept going in. That was for the Notre Dame game, man. For the ACA game, we already had a plan. We were like, we're going to get the ball to Brooklyn right here, and we know he has a bigger opponent on him. We know he's stronger. We know he's faster, so we're just going to exploit that, and it just kept working all night. They didn't really have an answer for it.
Inland Sports.
All right, good stuff, Brooklyn. He's averaging about 25 points per game right now. And again, we'll have more on Brooklyn coming up on Sports Weekly on IEMG. That's Channel 3 in the city of San Bernardino and the Inland Empire Media Group YouTube channel. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, let's see what's next. Ramona boys soccer. We're going to check in with the Rams. In fact, if you're watching us live and amplified here on Wednesday night, they're actually on the pitch right now taking on Patriot in a very important game in terms of the River Valley League Championship race. But we had an earlier interview with the Rams, including head coach Darren Sims Jr. and the captain center back, Gio Contreras. So that's coming up next here on the Inland Sports Show. Right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. Visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down, see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
Did you know that upper body strength helps build speed by helping you develop a stable spine and massive arm action when you're sprinting? Here are 3 tips I use to coach my athletes to build the bench press. Okay, so we have our bench and our barbell set up. Our first tip is going to be the 5 points of contact and our grip. So what are the 5 points of contact? It's going to be our right and left foot on the floor. We're going to have our butt on the bench, upper back, and head. Then we want to make sure our grip is either shoulder width or slightly outside of our shoulders. A good rule of thumb is to go with the rings on the bar because that's going to make sure that you're even on both sides. Really important next, I want to make sure I create some tension. I always tell my athletes that the more tension we can create internally, the more force we're going to be able to produce externally. So what that looks like is I want to make sure I want to bend the bar to stabilize my shoulders, and I want to squeeze my lats. I want to get my back involved in the lift as well. I also want to dig my feet in, almost push myself back against the bench, all right? So I want to create as much tension as I can. Then I lift off. Lastly, let's talk about this bar path. I want to make sure that the bar stays over my chest. This is super important. You don't hear too many coaches talking about it. I want to make sure that bar doesn't drift over my face. Keep that bar directly over my chest. You should always have a spotter when you're doing a bench press. And no, you do not need to lift 225 pounds in order to be faster, but you need to have an adequate amount of upper body strength, because a weak athlete is not a fast athlete. Boost, man.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. If you're watching us live and amplified or even on demand, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We'd love for you to follow us also on social media, on X and on Instagram. We still do Facebook a little bit, so you can check that out as well. But right here is where we put most of our content here on YouTube. So check it out and give us a like here on Inland Sports. Right now, we want to talk some high school boys soccer. We are approaching I can't believe it, but the end of the regular season. I mean, by the end of the month, the regular season will wrap up. There are some, league or conference tournaments at the end before we get to the CIF playoffs. But here we go, man. We're going into a couple of weeks and matches where they are going to be critical, where we crown league champions and those automatic playoff spots. So important matches coming up, including in the River Valley League, and that is some good soccer right there. On the boys' side, Norte Vista, a perennial powerhouse. Patriots having a great year. And don't look now, but here come the Ramona Rams. They've never won a boys soccer league championship, but they are in the hunt for that league title and a playoff spot. They made the postseason last year, trying to get further this year with new head coach Darren Sims Jr., who came over from Moreno Valley coaching the girls. He's a Ramona alum, so he's got a lot of pride at Ram High, and he's trying to bring them a winner. They're having a great season so far, but can they get that league championship? Some big matches coming up against Patriot. In fact, they're playing tonight against Patriot. They're going to play the Warriors again. They got another match coming up against Novi. Those will have big-time implications for that River Valley League championship. So here is head coach Darren Sims Jr. along with his captain center back Gio Contreras on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. We love talking high school boys soccer, and this team is having a great season. They are on a great run the last 9 matches. We're going to talk about that with the Ramona high school boys soccer team. We got head coach Darren Sims Jr. We got Gio Contreras, a center back, a captain for Ram High. And coach, listen, I mean, I would assume with the success you guys have been having this season, especially the last 9 matches or so, what are the goals for this team? You guys got some big goals that you've set for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, from the jump, we said, hey, we have a lot of talent. We just got to mature a little bit and shoot after a league title. We said one game at a time, however. We cannot overlook anybody in this league. Everybody is scrappy. Everybody's hungry. So it's just we stress to these guys one game at a time, play 80 complete minutes, get 3 points, and then we move on to the next one. And then obviously we want to make a run in CIF. These boys, were unlucky last year, lost 1-0. So my job coming in is to say, hey, this is where we were. Now we need to get past that and just keep going. just take it as far as we can.
All right, Coach Sims, at least according to my math, and I talked to your awesome AD, John Tibbles, as well, not too long ago, and as far as he knows, Ram High boys soccer has never won a league championship, and we know the River Valley League's tough, man. Novi is always good. Patriots having a good season. La Sierra might sneak up on somebody. So what do you think it's going to take for you guys to maybe bring home that elusive league title?
Capitalize on our chances, limit mistakes, and give everything we got for 80 minutes. We cannot play 50, 60, 70 against any team in this league. Like, everybody's going to bring their best, and we have to bring our best day in, day out.
All right, Coach, before I get to your captain over here, Gio Contreras, let's talk about him just for a moment. He's a center back. What makes him so special back there on that defensive line for you guys?
He's got high intelligence. He's physical. He's strong, got a good leg on him, and he just gives everything he's got. You know, sometimes he'll be like, Coach, I'm hurting a little bit, and you wouldn't even notice when you watch him play. He just takes a licking and keeps on ticking, as they said.
Gio, have you always been a defender? Did you play other places on the field, or was it always, back in that center spot?
I used to play the 6 maybe 2 to 3 years ago, and then I shifted to left back. And I think more recently I started to become a center back. So it's been a few times.
What do you enjoy the most back there? Because I'll say this, when I played high school soccer a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I played defense as well, and we used to call it sweeper, but I played stopper or sweeper, and I loved having that pressure, like I would get a couple goals here and there. I wasn't a big-time goal scorer, but I got more... It felt more rewarding, right, to make some big tackles or come away with a shutout, helping my goalkeeper get the clean sheet. What do you enjoy most about, the pressure that goes with being that last guy before the keeper?
I'd say just, also just having that leadership role back there and being able to see, the entire field. I think it's, it definitely helps. And like you said, along with that pressure, it pushes me to exceed my limits.
Good answer, Gio. I love that. Let me ask you too, Gio, about the last 9 matches. You guys are unbeaten, wins or ties in the last 9 matches. So you're playing some really good soccer right now. When you look at those 9 matches, what do you feel like the team is doing well right now?
I think it starts with our intensity as well. I think just the way we start the matches, we go in with, having our heads high and, having our expectations high for each team. So that really helps us, push and just, be ready to prepare for anything.
Yeah, and you've got some good competition in the River Valley League. I mean, there's some good teams out there, some good players and coaches. To win a league championship, what do you think it's going to take in these last couple of matches?
I think it's going to take a lot of grit. Honestly, just doing a lot of that dirty work and just being able to, push, even if you're hurting, even if you're injured, just being able to push and really play for the badge.
Well, Coach Sims, you're a Ram High guy, so how much pride do you take in, being back where it all started for you and trying to bring a championship to this school?
Some people think like, what? This is a dream job for me. I've always had it in my mind of if any opportunity presents itself here at Ramona, like I'm going to apply. And fortunately, I was the man they picked. And, I've been excited since day one. I mean, these guys have been fun to coach and I'm their 3rd coach in 4 years. So I'm trying to give them stability and also build trust and a rapport with them to the point where they go, okay, this guy's here to help. And so far it's worked. These guys have improved their play, improved their maturity, and we're getting results, and we hope to continue that.
Well, Coach, let's rewind to the start of the season. I know you played some good teams in non-league play, but, those first 4 matches, you start 0-4. What was the message to the guys to just kind of keep the morale up and keep that confidence in them that, hey, guys, we'll figure this out. We're going to be okay.
I mean, we were missing a handful of guys, between 6 and 11 guys due to club commitments, sickness, injury. And I was just telling these guys, hey, especially the role players, hey, you got some minutes, you got some experience. This is going to benefit us and benefit you all the way through. And so far, guys, nobody got down, and they just kept understanding, hey, once we get our full team back, we're going to be very competitive. And we've been, playing some pretty good football, trying to do our best to just get 3 points, each time we take the field. And It's been good. It's been good. We're happy with 9 games, but we're not content. We want to go. We got a big game against Patriot tomorrow. They've got a good coach, good technical team, and we're just trying to make it 10. Got to go out, play them, then we'll move on to the next game. So it's just not being content with where we are and just trying to get better every day.
Well, Coach Sims, to piggyback off what you just said, Gio, let me ask you, to not be content, what does that look like? I mean, how do you guys take it up to the next level? Is it training harder, staying more focused? I mean, what do you think it's going to take to, you guys are playing well, to play even better and improve as you get closer to the playoffs?
I mean, like you said, just not being content with it, just always looking to exceed that level that, we've started at. I think, as well, just, during training, focusing and, working as hard as you can, it'll eventually pay off for sure.
What is training like? Because, some I'll go to some practices and they're very loose and guys are laughing, and some practices are very intense, and there's not a lot of chatter, not a lot of talk. How does Coach Sims run a practice out there at Ram High?
He runs it very well, honestly. I think it's very important, as a coach, to also to be comfortable, but also to, know when to be serious, know when things really need to start to focus up on. And Coach Sims does that very well.
Coach, obviously the guys are responding well. You guys are having a great season so far, and I know you want to be in the mix for the league championship and get to playoffs and put together a run. How do you bring out the best in them, right? How do you get them, put them in spots to be successful and play at their highest level?
I think it's finding a balance. It's me and my coaching staff, Coach Jesse, Coach Denzel, is bringing our best every day, and also just figuring out, okay, what is the best course of action for today? Well, how do we get better today in this area? Or how do we fix this? And also giving them time during practice to just kind of be teenagers, give them the 5 minutes of a water break, go, laugh, joke, whatever they need to do. Because we know when you're at work, you enjoy your breaks. It's that break of the monotony. So it's just finding that balance for them and understanding, like, hey, I understand you guys are teenagers and whatnot. I was there one time, you were there. Letting them be free, but then, hey, now we need to come back together, be serious, get work done, and then we go home happy.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this. You said you're, class of 2005 at Ramona? Is that what you said?
Sir.
Do you feel like soccer has changed at all? I don't know about you, at least from my perspective. I feel like when we played hard and we were physical, but we didn't have the technical skill. I don't know if guys are just faster, quicker, technically. I mean, they're just so much better with the ball. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just through my own lens, the way I see it. But do you feel like in the last 20 years, from when you were in high school to being a head coach now, has the game changed at all?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think that back in our day, I think we were more physical. And I think that, a lot of times guys just got off just straight on hustle. And I think now, based on how training is going with the club teams and whatnot, they're focusing more on the tactical side and the technical side. And so, you see these guys, you're having more players that have good technical ability. Our days, you may have a starting 11 where 5 guys have really good touch. Now you're getting teams where 9, 10 guys have really good touch. So it's just being able to understand the changes in the game. It's still the same game in terms of it's still soccer, but it's not, hey, okay, now you're right back. This guy can actually put his foot on the ball, make something happen rather than, hey, get it and pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, Coach, I think you are absolutely spot on. I feel like when I played, again, when we knew the other team was better, we would have to out physical them, right? Try to run faster and tackle harder and just, knock them off the ball and do all those things because we knew they were better than us. Also, too, I don't know, I'm going to age both of us, I suppose. I never played on turf, and I feel like the technical teams, the teams that have good skill, on turf, they thrive, but if you're playing on wet, soggy, real grass, you got the long studs, the physical teams, the ball, you're going to slow the game down a little bit, but man, on turf, if you're technically sound, those teams are tough to stop.
Oh, 100%. I had a friend of mine come to our game against Norte Vista, and he goes, man, I didn't realize how fast the high school game is now.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I watch you guys and I'm like, I couldn't play in the River Valley League. You guys are way too good for me. Let me wrap it up like this. Gio, let me go to you. So we've only got a handful of games left here in River Valley League play. You got some big ones coming up. I mean, they're going to decide the league championship ultimately. What do you feel like you guys have to do as a team to finish on top and win an RVL championship? What do the Rams have to do well these next several matches?
I'd say, like I said before, just not get comfortable with, where we're at. Always try to exceed, the expectations. And I think, just to really show ourselves, like really get into our heads that we want it more, like we want it. And so, just continuing to push and just show, that we're not going to step down. We're going to keep on fighting until we get this.
And Coach, kind of the same question for you to wrap it up is, how exciting is it for you to be the coach and just have your team in a position, like this at this point of the season? I mean, if you guys were out of contention and, the games didn't have any meaning behind them, but they do. I mean, you got some huge matches coming up. We talked about the Patriot one coming up next, which is going to be huge. I mean, how exciting is it just to have Ramona High School in a spot where they are competing for a league title and, and to get to the playoffs and all those sorts of things?
Oh, it's a blessing. I mean, it's an honor to be the head coach of this program. And, I get texts and calls pretty much every day from old teammates and old Ramona alum that are just like, hey, man, keep it up. It's good to see you guys doing well. And, if we're able to get a league title, like this will mean a lot, especially bringing it back home and getting it done. And I know if we get it done and hang that banner, it's going to be awesome memory for all of us. And, you leave a legacy.
Yeah, you can't let football win all the championships. You got to win a soccer one, right?
Yeah. Coach Mush has done a heck of a job with the football program, and we want to get one too.
Well, Coach Sims, congratulations on the season so far. You guys are playing some great football right now, and of course, huge matches coming up to round out RVL play. Gio Contreras, center back, captain as well for the Rams. Thank you, Gio. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Pat. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. That's Ramona High School boys soccer here on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
All right, best of luck to the Rams the rest of the way this season. And as I mentioned before, a big match tonight against Patriots. So we haven't seen the results of that. In fact, if you're watching us live on Wednesday night, they are on the pitch right now. So we'll keep tabs on that. All right, we're going to take another quick commercial break here on the Inland Sports Show. Let's see, when we come back, we're going to talk high school basketball, high school soccer, some highlights. We're going to hear from Cajon head coach Rafael Lara as well in a very tight CBL race for boys soccer as well. So we'll be right back on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona. Driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. Visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
one thing that's not talked about enough when it comes to athletic development.
I think a lot of times we think about sacrifice and it's just doing more of the things that we enjoy doing. You ain't really working hard if you're just training. You're just doing a lot of the things that you like doing. Working hard is doing the things that you don't enjoy doing. That's hard work, right? Like, it's easy to get up every single day, at least for me, and hit the weights, you know what I mean? Like, hard work is doing the things that are hard for you. That's the message that gets lost in the sauce with these kids. That sacrifice is, look, I'm not going to train today because I have a project due tomorrow. I need to make sure I get that done. Or the sacrifice is that I need to get some sleep so I'm not a zombie in class tomorrow. It's about making the right decisions that are going to help you instead of saying no days off and working, and then you work yourself into a situation where you get hurt or you work yourself so bad that, you know, you can't focus in the classroom. The sacrifice is doing the things that you don't want to do.
Inland Sports.
And that's the team we've been talking about all season long. When they're playing well, you do not want to run into them, and that's the Rams. But I will say this, if the Seahawks don't win the Super Bowl, I will be shocked, Patrick. And I'm not just saying that because you're a Seahawks fan, but they absolutely dominated the 49ers. Yes, San Francisco was severely undermanned, but man, they did not play well at all. And credit to Seattle, special teams, defense, passing game, the run game. They did everything well in that game from the very first play. I'm like, wow, this Seattle team is playing at another level right now. As a lifelong 49ers fan, I knew from the get, we are going to get wiped off the face of the earth against these guys. Like, we don't even belong in Seattle right now because the Seahawks are playing that well. Oh, I mean, obviously it's terrible for Broncos fans, but I'll say this. Even if they had Bo Nix healthy, I kind of like New England in this game, man. The Patriots impressed me against Houston. I'm feeling like it's going to be a Seattle versus New England Super Bowl. Even if they had Bo Nix, but not having Bo Nix, if it really is Jarrett Stidham. I know he did okay with the Raiders. Remember, he played a little bit with Las Vegas. But, man, come on, dude. This guy hasn't thrown a regular season pass in 2 years. So there's that.
Inland Sports.
All right, hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCal 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning. Always have a good time talking sports with Patrick. All right, let's talk some high school basketball and some high school soccer right now. We want to start with one of our Kin Sporting Goods must-see games. Check it out in the land of the Big 8. Of course, Centennial is good again in boys basketball. Josh Giles does a fantastic job with the Huskies. Hey, but Coach Castillo and the Santiago Sharks, they're having a huge season. They've already beaten Roosevelt on the road in Eastvale, so that was a huge win for Santiago. And then they're going to get Centennial later this week. As of tonight, both teams are 3-0 in the Big 8 League, and then they'll go into their league tournament at the end of the season. But Santiago, I think Centennial's 20-3, Santiago 23-3 overall, so they're both having great years. The Sharks are really good. We're going to find out how good when they go up against mighty Centennial in a Kin Sporting Goods must-see game this week. They're rivals, right? They're already Rempah rivals, and we'll see how good Santiago's boys basketball team is. They're having a great year, any way you slice it. But to go up against Centennial, who is a very, one of the top programs, right? No doubt about it. It's going to be a great match coming up in boys basketball. Now, we'll keep it in the Big 8 League, and now we go to girls soccer in a Kin Sporting Goods must-see soccer game as Santiago is taking on Roosevelt girls soccer tonight. And in that one, listen, Santiago has been the perennial power in this league, no doubt about it. But, I mean, they're all good. I mean, Roosevelt is really good. They've won a CIF championship, but the Sharks have been that team. They've been an open division team for the playoffs. Well, they lost to Norco. And now that opens the door for maybe Roosevelt to win that league championship. The first time they played a couple of weeks ago, back in December, it was a 1-1 draw. So this game is very important for that Big 8 league championship race. So a Ken Sporting Goods must-see game. Santiago and Roosevelt girls soccer going head-to-head. Very important there. So from girls soccer in the Big 8 League to boys soccer in the Citrus Belt League, another one of those league championship races. That's going to be a lot of fun coming down the home stretch. In the CBL, Beaumont's the team to beat. They are having a great year. But in terms of that league title, who's going to challenge Beaumont? Who's going to get those automatic spots from coming out of the CBL? It's going to be super competitive. Cajon is right there in the mix. I was able to catch up with the Cowboys at a recent match against Redlands. Talked with head coach Rafael Lara. We've got more with Cajon Soccer on Sports Weekly on IEMG. But here's the deal. Cajon had a big-time goal scorer named Derry Zamora, but he signed with a pro team in Mexico. I think it was Pumas. So they lost Derry. I think he played maybe 1 or 2 matches, and then he got the call-up. And so now Cajon is trying to find some scoring, some guys to step up and put the ball in the back of the net. The previous week, they beat Rev 1-0, and then they go on the road to Redlands, and the Terriers are much improved, and that was a 0-0 draw. So Coach Lara says the CBL is absolutely tough, and it could be wide open as we go through the final couple weeks of the regular season. Here's Rafael Lara from Cajon High School.
Inland Sports.
Finally, Coach, I know Beaumont's got a really good team, but man, how competitive is the CBL this season? I mean, there's some really good clubs, and I think all these matches seem to be close right now.
Yes, me and Coach Titus, we were saying the same thing. I mean, every game you look at the score is like a one goal game, and everybody's competing. I mean, it doesn't matter who you play. And like I told the boys as well, going on the road is tough. It's tough on this league. This league, you get out of this league, and hopefully, whether you win it or you get a top 3 to go to CIF, it gets you ready for CIF. So this is what we want, competitive league, and obviously the goal is to win league and make a good push on CIF.
Inland Sports.
All right, good stuff from Coach Lara. And again, more on Cajon Soccer this week on Sports Weekly on IEMG. Speaking of IEMG, we did a live stream of a game last week, A.B. Miller and Indian Springs boys soccer. And again, another league title race that's going to be a lot of fun. A.B. Miller was undefeated on the season, and Indian Springs was trying to knock off the Rebels to really create a mess in the Mountain Valley League with Indian Springs, San Bernardino, and A.B. Miller all tied for first place. Then that's exactly what happened. The Coyotes, with a dramatic finish, getting the game-winning goal and own goal in the final moments of the match. I say final moments, probably the last 20, 30 seconds of the match. Here's how it finished on IEMG. Check it out. There's the corner. Here's the kick. Far side. A.B. Miller got a head on it. The shot. Covarrubias made the initial stop, but it's poked home for another A.B. Miller goal as the Rebels take a 2-1 lead here in the second half. Oh, Indian Springs, here we go. The chip over the keeper's head and in. What a fantastic goal. I think that was Arenas, but let's see as he turns around. That happened so quickly. The Coyotes, the header from A.B. Miller, and that is going to be an own goal. The Coyotes take a 3-2 lead. That pressure they applied offensively forced A.B. Miller into a miscue on the defensive front, and there is the go-ahead goal for Indian Springs. And the Coyotes take a 3-2 lead here in the final moments of this match. If they can hang on here in the final minutes, the shot on goal off the frame. Congratulations to Coach Kaler and the Coyotes. Wow, what a game here at Indian Springs. All right, and you can watch the entire match right now on IEMG. That is Channel 3 in San Bernardino, and, of course, the Inland Empire Media Group YouTube channel. Giving them a quick shout-out so you can go check out that game. And finally, here on the Inland Sports Show, we want to give a shout out to our old friend Brian Weathers. He was the head basketball coach at Murrieta Valley. He's now the basketball coach and AD at Linfield Christian. And Coach Weathers and myself, we go way back. In fact, so when I did UC Riverside basketball broadcasts, he was the director of basketball operations for the Highlanders. So I got to travel with him and have a good time with him and Jeff Gorham. And Brian has a new podcast called Beyond the Buzzer, where he interviews athletes and coaches and talks about their time after, their playing days are done. And he caught up with Jeff and had a really good conversation. In fact, the podcast just came out today. But here's a quick clip from that podcast, Beyond the Buzzer, with Coach Brian Weathers and our good friend Jeff Gorham.
You named some major hitters. You had Harold Miner, Tracy Murray. What was it like growing up out of that social media age where not everyone kind of knew each other through, seeing each other just on TV or a show? How was it growing up in a time where it's just quiet and really about just...
It was all ball, and it was tough. It was a lot tougher. Social media now, you don't have to go out and watch players.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I remember there was down at the Run, Shoot, and Dunk League, or whatever it was called, for the high school kids. Travel ball was not hundreds of teams at the time. Yeah. There was maybe 10 teams, and I played for, I think, probably the best travel ball club in the history of California. I played on Dana and David Pump's first travel ball team.
Yes.
Pump and Run was the thing, and we had the guys that were on my team. This just tells you how small basketball was back then.
All right, so that is Beyond the Buzzer. You can check it out right here on YouTube, the latest episode with Jeff Gorham and Brian Weathers. And again, I told you we go way back from UCR. And even before that, Coach Weathers had a long professional career. He played in a bunch of different places, including the NBA D-League. It was called the D-League at the time. And he played for the Bakersfield Jam when I was covering the Bakersfield Jam. So Coach Weathers and I go way back. So it's cool to see he's got a podcast and very insightful. A lot of fun to hear those stories, including with the Big Jeezy. So check that out, Beyond the Buzzer. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. If you are watching us live on Wednesday night, this would be a good time to switch on over to ESPN. CBU men's basketball taking on Utah Tech. I'm on the call tonight. Go check it out. That's on ESPN. It should be about halftime right now if you're watching us live and amplified on Wednesday night. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. We'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.